Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Camera Tuesday, we're going to talk about a spicy topic, Canon versus Sony 2020. So let's dive right into it. Well, first you have to understand that this video is solely targeted on newcomers. Basically, if you are interested in photography, you're like, okay, I want to invest in these equipments because again, they are expensive. Unless you are a doctor or engineer or a dentist. Apparently, dentists make a lot of money, but regarding all those type, money it matters. For that reason, this decision matters. Now, one thing you have to understand is very thoroughly and very clearly. If you have prior investment, let's say you have Sony system, enjoy. You have Nikon system, enjoy. You have Canon system, enjoy. You don't have to change your system. Be mindful of that. This video is not targeted for that. It's like, okay, if you're a new one, if you want to understand what the hell is going on in the industry, for those reasons you may watch this, but do not buy this as like, oh, I should switch or I should not switch. It's not for that. Now, if you are new, many times I have replied in the comments like which camera is best. Like, never choose the goddamn camera, choose the lens first. Like, many people have found these issues with either Micro Four Third or Fuji systems, specifically in India, because these are not very easily available. Again, you may live in a country where it's like super easy, you just go there and that shop has that. Again, different place, different conditions, so you have to choose the lens first. Like, which lens do you want? Does the lens has the features that you need? Because for some scenarios, let's say you were like, hey dude, I need a lens which does not have focus breathing at all. Like, I cannot tolerate focus breathing. Does the company that you want to choose has a lens that meets your requirement? So select lens first, and you will realize very soon on, like, youngsters have this decision. Again, not youngster would be correct word, inexperienced people would have like, okay, body matters, like, Canon 5D or Nikon 800D or something like that. Those does not matter. Slowly but surely, and like, if you are even a little bit serious, you will realize you will soon have a lens collection, and that lens collection will dwarf the cost you have spent on your body. Like, body will become chump change. It's like, if body breaks, you're like, who cares, I can buy a new one. Lens breaks, heart attack. So be mindful, lens is the primary investment, and that should be the first decision that you make. Does this company has the lens that I'm looking for? Now, some lenses are available in all three, but others are not. Be mindful of this. That's why I'm specifying this video series. Now, Canon is an old company. Canon is an experienced company, and Canon successfully pulled off, which people thought impossible, beating Nikon in their own game. How the heck they did that? There are many reasons, of course, but one of the primary gambles Canon played was introducing what we call drive-by-wire very early on, as in, like, 1970s and 1980s. So what was that? Drive-by-wire simply means every kind of equipment that is required to control the lens would be in the lens, and it would be controlled electronics. So if you need a motor to drive the aperture, it will be in the lens. If you need a motor to control the autofocus, it will be in the lens. You can easily see that still in Nikon lenses, that there is a lever that you can move to control the aperture, because it's not drive-by-wire. Now, that jump allowed basically Canon to make lenses that are very snappy. It's like, again, you make your autofocus properly suited to the requirement. So if you have a, let's say, wide angle lens which does not need to move too much, but the glass elements are heavy, you will design a motor that is well suited for that. So that way Canon started to, like, outpace Nikon, and they did the unthinkable. They became bigger than Nikon. So Canon has a lot of experience. They have done a lot of mistakes, but again, by that reason itself, they are more experienced. So Canon also has this lineup, M series lineup. Now, M series is not very popular compared to every other system. They are not that popular. However, they are popular in Japan and China and all that jazz. So it's not a losing scenario, but it's not like, oh, you're gonna go around and tada, M series, M series, M series. That's not happening. But that gives them the unique advantage when they are designing this new series, this new mirrorless lineup, proper pro end mirrorless. The R mount is only full frame, which is awesome, which is mind-bogglingly good. There have been issues with people like that. You could be a very good photographer, but you are not an individual who's going to be like, I'm going to read the spec sheet and thoroughly look through every single detail, so I don't end up buying a APS-C lens with a full frame body, which has happened to people. Experienced people could also make this mistake, because again, how will you know? Like, how would you know, hey, it's an E-mount lens, works on an E-mount, awesome, I bought it. It's not like, again, for tech enthusiasts it's super easy. We go through spec sheet for a daily basis, but for normal individual, you could have be the best photographer out there, but you may like, dude, the system is confusing, I thought this lens was this, what. It happens. So Canon created a very clean system. You buy R mount lens, it works on R mount, awesome, and all R mounts are full frame at this point in time, as of me making this video, which is awesome. Nikon got this down, awesome. Like, Nikon was also doing this well, but then they released Z50, which was Weird, because it does not have IBIS. Now what does that mean? Why does that matter so much? That simply matters because many times people have this habit of buying full frame lenses, because again, lens are the primary investment, and then they will invest into bigger body once they can afford it. Awesome. All the Nikon lenses do not have IBIS. They are relying solely on basically IBIS of the body. They don't have image stabilization. So for that reason, if you bought a full frame system, basically in lens wise, and you put that into Z50, will it work? Absolutely. It just will be ugly. Why? Because the Z50 does not have IBIS. They should have made sure the Z50 had IBIS. So to make matters even more worse, they created two new lenses. Those lenses have image stabilization. I'm like, see, this is awesome. Nikon, like basically Canon is doing something, and if done long enough, let's say by 2050 or 2060, they could literally have a scenario where it's like Canon full frame only, all Canon lenses work there, because they can slowly fade out everything else, which is amazing. Now Canon did something engineering wise which people request or expect out of you. It's engineering has this one rule: you do it first or you do it better. Basically, if you have not first checked it, you cannot just do the same thing and expect people to like you. Like, you have to be like, okay, I learned from their mistake and made it better. So Sony has IBIS. Like, Sony broke the mold of like, oh, IBIS is a micro four third format. They directly went for full frame. Again, it was good but not that good. Panasonic was like better, but again, Canon, YOLO. It's like you don't even think about it. Like, you just buy it, forget it. Like, you have IBIS, you will not complain because of this system's IBIS. The only time you have an issue is like, okay, you are hand holding this, you are using a very wide angle lens, and then you're moving too much. There's like, whoa. Then only in that scenario you're gonna have an issue. 99.99% else, you don't even have to think about it. So that's awesome. They got IBIS down in one go. Then they have very good low entry point for full frame professional equipment series, because again, you collect lenses, you change the body, because again, what the body that we consider pro today will become a toy tomorrow. So but lenses remain the same. So you can invest in very good glass right out the gate. It's like, okay, I have a certain amount of money, I'm gonna get good glass, basic body. What is the lowest you can go in every other company? Let's say Nikon and Sony. Not that low compared to Canon. Canon RP is awesome. Canon EOS RP is super awesome for the price it takes. It's like, whoa, you just got into full frame, and modern release full frame, not some second hand, not some like, okay, very old model which does not have modern set. No, proper full frame, awesome. So they have very good entry to the system. Now they have also releasing new lenses that are more focused on normal people rather than like professionals. Again, professionals get so much money out of their one perfect photo, they actually spend lugging around like 50 kilogram of lenses. I'm not joking. There are lenses that are that heavy, and like the whole kit generally exceed 50 kilograms. So they are releasing this Canon 800 and Canon 600. Now these lenses, no professional who actually makes a living out of like National Geography photographers or things like that, they will not even touch these, because these are f11 lenses. But for normal bird watcher, normal Instagram shooter, normal, I do hiking and I do little bit for, these are godsend. And because of their mirrorless system and their better autofocus system and IBIS, it works quite well. So very unique lenses. Now I'm still waiting for Sony and Nikon to release a competitor to this, but right now they are first. Now, all these things aside, if you are not satisfied with our lenses, because again, our lenses, while they are awesome, they are idiotically expensive, and many times you may not find what you're looking for, because again, the system is new, they do not have hundreds of lenses yet. You can still go to EF lens, because again, native system to native system, and you can get a good option. So Canon is doing a very wise thing here, so that R basically making sure R is only one thing, awesome. Making sure IBIS is awesome, super awesome. Low cost to entry, basically you can just recommend any Tom, Dick and Harry a camera and you can be damn sure they can buy it, super duper awesome. Everything is good there. So let's look at Sony. Now I in past have made a playlist why no, basically no to every camera company, Sony, Nikon, Canon, Panasonic, Fuji and all that. The reason for that, me making that series, is basically many people think like children, where they're like, oh, this is perfect. There is no perfect option. You just take some good, you take some bad, and you balance it out. And that was the reason of me making that series. It was like, okay, Fuji gives you this but takes away from this, what can you live with? Like, if you know the good and you know the bad, you can handle it. It's like, okay, I got this, I can manage this. So if you don't know the bat, you will have bias remorse. That was my reason of making that. In that, I specified that Sony, while quite awesome, they have the infighting issue. Sony Corporation has a lot of companies inside, PlayStation, Columbia Pictures and all that. They have a lot of divisions and they fight a lot inside. And the worst example of that was basically Sony mobile division started fighting with Alpha division, because Sony mobile division like, bro, give us because like, early days of Android, photographing is becoming important thing. Give us your algorithm so we can autofocus properly. They're like, no, if you can do autofocus, who will buy Alpha cameras? And like, you are in the same company. But that fighting happened, and the consequence of that, Alpha never got a menu system that was good enough, because the best menu designers were in the mobile division. So Sony had a lot of infighting, lot of it, and Sony suffered because of that. But in past 2-3 years, they did announce they are trying to fix these things up. They are trying to patch it up, because again, you have to pay money back to the investors. So they fixed this up, and I can see the result. Right now, they are in 2020. They have a camera mobile phone which are truly good, professional, and you're like, whoa. This is a camera phone that is a camera made for photographer, because it directly took Alpha legacy. So Sony has fixed that issue, and you can easily see that in Sony A series, A7S Mark III. S Mark III is literally, they took every single body's feedback. It's like, dude, what do you want out of a camera? Just tell me, just shut up and tell me what exactly do you want. I'm gonna give you everything. Like in Hindi, we have a word tathastu, meaning you just grant your wish. They did that. It's like, just give you everything. They took every single criticism. They literally fixed it. Or like, we were like, how many problems you want to fix? Yes. So it is mind-boggling. They did very clever. It's like, it's not like some master engineering on that. It's just like clever. It's like, okay, people are giving you feedback from all around the world. It's not like, okay, Indians don't want this. You can literally have an Indian YouTuber is like tell you what he wants that. You can literally have a British YouTuber who's tell you, Australian YouTuber, American YouTuber. Like you can collect all the data and be like, okay, this feature have the highest requirement, and all around the planet you can do that. That's awesome. And Sony listened to that. That is like, wow. And they made a perfect camera. At this point in time, Sony A7S Mark III is as close to a perfect camera there ever been. Like flat out, this camera, nobody is comparing it to other mirrorless camera. Nobody is comparing it to a DSLR. Every Tom, Dick and Harry is comparing this to basically FX5, FX9, C200, C300, or even C500. Mind you, all those cameras are 5 to 6 times more expensive. They are proper cine cameras, proper documentary cameras, run and gun cameras, electronic news gathering camera, and this camera can like literally come close to that. It's like for 1/10 of the price. Like you can invest all that money into good glass or insurance, or buy like 2 of them. It's like, hey, one broke, no worry, I'm gonna use another one. So they did quite amazing with this. Like they solved it, Japanese ego issue. Sony is known for that ego. Like anybody who's old enough will know Betamax, and young enough will know Magic Gate and all that jazz. So, and they, in terms of lineup, you will like, okay, this camera does not suit you. Do they have other options? Yes, they have A7S R Mark IV. If you want to have the highest megapixel, if you want, like, you just want resolution, it's like, dude, I need resolution. I got the time, I cannot fine tune the exposure triangle to give the best outcome out there, but I need that megapixel. Sony's like, I got your back. R Mark IV, basically Sony A7R Mark IV, they are so good. Flat out, people are comparing it to medium format. Flat out, it's like almost there. Nobody is complaining like in R4 you take a photograph and like, dude, it's bad. No. If that you're saying that you may have messed up something, again, that could happen, or you don't know what you're doing. Basically, at that point in time, for photography, not about videography, for photography, you will not have a complaint with that setup. Now you are like, hey, I need super fast. Like that's my thing. I want fast camera because I do sports photography. A9s is built for that. So they have 3 cameras, each fine-tuned, built for like spec, and they can go up to best DSLR, like almost punching above their weight. All these cameras are like punching above their weight. They are not punching in the same level. They are punching above their weight. And A7S Mark III, if they do this kind of refinement down the line, done. Like at that point, Sony truly will make a good camera. They went from like, okay, our camera has capability to like ugly user interface and all that. Like our camera is the camera. And lenses matter. Okay, because Sony jumped into the mirrorless game 8 or 9 years ago, they have a lot of lenses, and because they were fighting an uphill battle against Nikon and Canon, they did a very clever move. They are like, okay, we're gonna open our lens mount half. We're not gonna give you image stabilization algorithm. That's why basically Sigma and Tamron cannot make image stabilized lenses, but we're gonna give you autofocus. And because Sony bodies have IBIS, those exploded. Like literally Sigma started to make glasses that are like damn good, some even better than Sony, while cheaper the price. And Tamron, they started to make unique lens combination, because Tamron is 20% owned by Sony, so they cannot make direct competitor lenses, but they can make, like, tricky enough, close enough. So they are utilizing that also. Amazing, like flat out at this point in time, native lenses wise, you do not have to think about it. Like you go into Sony system, you do not have to think about, does this have the lens I'm looking for? You do not have to think about it. Like that is over. Now all these things considered, at this point in time, if you want an absolute cheap video camera that can compete against a proper RE camera, or act as a B cam, crash cam, or things of that nature, A7S Mark III can almost do that directly. And if you're like, dude, I need a bit more color depth, yeah, HDMI output, full size. They learned from their competitors. It's like, okay, Panasonic is giving full size HDMI output, I'm gonna give that. Panasonic is giving multiple recording options, which is necessary because many people have different requirements. So you could have someone, hey, I do long form recording, I need to get the most out of gigabytes I have in my SD card, use H.265. It will be difficult for your computer to handle, but at least you can record for longer. But let's say somebody is like, dude, I only record for 20 minutes, I have the memory card. Okay, do H.264, super easy to encode. That's why those formats are there. Some could be like, hey, all I is not necessary for this kind of thing. Don't do it. You need all I, do it. That's the whole point. Everything about this camera is perfect. So Sony became very clever recently, just like poof, clever. Now, why does this matter to you as a user? Money. I do not think I have to tell you that company must make money to survive, otherwise they disappear. Now Canon is dying, flat out, slowly. They are dying of 1,000 cuts, because Canon not recently, the earliest I mentioned, I have noticed, somebody noticed this after around Canon 5D Mark III, is that Canon is doing something wrong. Like, it's not the Canon that people fell in love with, not the Canon that people fell in love because of a Rebel series of lineups. Basically, the Rebel camera is responsible for many indie filmmakers. It's that awesome. 5D Mark III, like, it started the video revolution, so to say. 5D Mark II, so to say. All these things, like, what happened to that Canon? That Canon disappeared or something? Like, what happened to this Canon and became like known for cripple hammer, whereas like, let's cripple something. Like, the worst example, it was like, dude, that's insulting. It's like, let's remove 24 frames per second because yeah, that was like, dude, like, at some point you have to be like, you can't expect to piss off your customer to such a point, because you are not Apple. Only Apple can do that. Every other company, if they do that, they will lose. An outcome, stock market is the final end game. It does not matter your product is awesome or not. If you do not survive in stock market, you go bankrupt. Sony, they were in bad position. Like, they had multiple flop movies. Their PlayStation division was not printing money, like, it costed way too much. So flat out, they were in bad position. They jumped into a dying industry of photography industry just to trying to survive. And they survived. If you take a 5-year, I'm not talking 1 year average, I'm talking 5-year average, they're continuously growing. At this point in time, they are like literally rising from the ashes. And right now, both companies are Japanese, so their Japanese value is Sony, at this point of me making this video, is 8,000 plus. Canon is 1,700. So what happened? Basically, Canon was also riding high, but started to go down. And this recent release, basically people are saying it hurted Canon more than it helped. Why? Because first time in ever, Canon is known for overheating, and Canon is worstly known for overheating because nobody was like, that was the comeback punch. It's like, oh, Sony made a unique camera, Sony had this, and it overheats. Canon, yeah, it does not even cool down. Canon is like not like overheating, it does not cool down because they have insulated design. I'm like, what the hell, who was the engineer for that? So Canon tangibly is losing money, tangibly. And I mean Canon Corporation, I don't mean just Canon Imaging Division. Canon Imaging Division flat out for 5 years, they're running in the red. So this is not me saying, this is their own stock reportings. And Canon 5, basically R5 and R6, they were the worst example of bad marketing. Those cameras were not video cameras, but they just hyped it up. They just, well, like those cameras, like if they had come out like 5D, Reborn, done, they were like, they will be printing money at this point in time, but they're like 8K uncropped, nothing else. That was the first announcement, 8K uncropped. You go to website right now, you're the first thing, unmatched 8K video recording. I'm like, do you want people to hate you? And not to mention, I specified, like, engineering wise, you have to do it first or you have to do it better. They did not. They had bad engineering. Like, Sony learned from their mistakes. Like, dude, our body is overheat. How do we cool it? We use graphite heatsink. Graphite is very thin. I have provided a video example of down below what kind of system that looks like. And Sigma, they also wanted to make a small compact cinema camera. They also had heatsink. There are multiple options of camera that are using heatsink from Chinese manufacturers, from Sigma to Sony, and none of them are requiring fan. Like only Panasonic went into the fan direction, and Canon did not. Imagine if Canon was like, okay, we do make expensive camera and people do buy it. People do buy C500, C300s, and they are enjoying it. How about you just try to make it cool? Like try to put heatsink there. It would have solved all their problems. It would have been like, whoa, Canon is back. Sony, watch out. Like from that to like, yep, Canon, no worries. That's very damaging to reputation. And stock market cares about reputation surprisingly a lot. So the worst thing that I can see in Canons is like they're not learning from competitors. Like I can see Sony A7S Mark III and everything is there is like, okay, we took the best thing from Panasonic, we took the best thing from Fuji, we took the best thing from Canon. Like that's all there is. Like, they just took the good thing from all of them. Like the competitors became their testing ground. Canon is like, no, here's the deal. Everybody's giving full size HDMI. We had mini one. Let's make it worse. Let's give you micro. Everybody is giving USB-C power delivery. Let's make it worse. Let's make it weird. So it's like Apple, where they have to buy our adapter. Otherwise, good luck trying to figure out which adapter will work with it. So Canon is not learning from its competitor, and their stock market represents this. This is very bad for like, this could literally mean one day you will wake up, same way people woke up and like, wait a minute, Olympus disappeared. Yeah, that could happen with Canon, because at some point investors would be like, dude, you cannot keep taking our money and just keep losing it. And again, even basically users are also like, what the hell, why the heck you have 30-minute recording limit when European Union removed the law? It's like, why? So there is a very serious risk here that Canon may not survive very long. Like again, I hope they survive. I bought Canon equipment from my own sweat and blood money, so I want Canon to survive, but they have to learn from their competitors, where they're like, okay, what all you are doing wrong, what all you are doing right, I'm gonna take the best and I'm gonna make it even better. That was the Canon that took a giant unlike a Nikon and beat it into becoming a company which overheats. I'm like, seriously bro, seriously? So money matters at the end of the day, and if this stock continues, I specified up down happens every day. 5 years their averaging is in downward direction. It's not looking good. So this was my presentation on basically Sony versus Canon in 2020. I hope you liked it, learn from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.